Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Time to talk quite briefly, hopefully, about my favourites for March 2017. It was a strange month. Spring is finally here now, and the clocks have gone forward, and it definitely feels as if there's a difference in the air. But March was quite a kind of rainy, dismal month overall. I've been working hard. I had a week and a half feeling pretty ill as well. So it hasn't been a brilliant month for trying out new products. Frankly, the makeup has been all about concealing how dismal and pale and ill and tired I'm naturally looking, and less about experimenting. I just haven't had the time to try out complicated eye looks, for example. Because I've got quite hooded eyes. I have to spend quite a bit of time, i.e. more than 5 minutes on my makeup, if I want to do a proper eye look, and that's kind of the first thing to go when I'm short of time or inclination. So the favourites are not very eye focused this month for that reason. So what have I been using a lot and why? I guess the first thing to talk about is the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric foundation. I did talk about this in a fairly recent video comparing it with the Tom Ford waterproof foundation, because they're the two allegedly high coverage foundations I have in my collection at the moment. I bought this one because I'd read good things about it. It's the first Armani foundation I've tried. I'm definitely going to get the Luminous Silk and give that a go. Luminous Silk would, be more the normal type of foundation that I'd be attracted to, because I like a fairly luminous, frankly, shiny look. Rather than heavy coverage usually, but I did need some heavy coverage at the beginning of the month. I had my Botox and fillers done, and unusually for me, I bruised a bit round the mouth. I'd had quite a lot of filler in there, so I actually needed to cover up stuff, and this did the job. And equally, now that I've been not looking too well because of this kind of ongoing cold and lack of sleep, I have been turning to this quite a bit. I do like it. It does do what it says in the tin in two respects. It is pretty high coverage, so it definitely blocks out, my freckles, age marks, as well as evening out skin tone. And it also lasts phenomenally well. I would say of all my foundations, this is the longest lasting. I literally can go from 5 a.m. in the morning and look at it again at 6 p.m. at night, and I've pretty much got decent coverage, and that's pretty remarkable, I think. What it doesn't do so well is it definitely slightly accentuates my large pores round the nose, which is a problem for me. I have said in the video I did where I compared it with the Tom Ford, I'm not sure if that is because this is a tiny bit too pale. I went for 3 because they didn't have the next one. I think I could have done with 4 or 4.5, to be honest. And because it's very pigmented, the paleness of that shows up in the pores. I can ameliorate it by using this, which is the Tom Ford Complexion Enhancing Primer, which is far and away the best primer for me in terms of minimising the pores showing up when the foundation goes on. I just use it around the nose area. I don't waste it anywhere else. But it doesn't entirely do away with the problem, but I do like the foundation. The other thing about it is, because it's heavy coverage, it leaves my face looking slightly flat. Definitely need to do some contouring and some warming up. Generally, I've needed to do that anyway because I'm so pale at the moment. Chanel Tan de Soleil has been the hero product for me. I've had this for a couple of years. Honestly, it's an expensive product, but it goes on forever, and it's still going strong. I mean, you can see I've made a bit of a dent in it, but the texture's fine. It looks kind of tanny there, but literally it, evens out. I use it with a kabuki brush around the edges of the face and under the cheekbones. Does the job beautifully for my fair skin. So that's heavily in use at the moment. And I've been finishing off with the Guerlain Recent Meteorites, which is the Happy Glow Pearls. Definitely showed you this one before. It's a very pale, cool-toned pink, lilac, some gold and silver. There's a little bit of glitter, but not too much, and it gives a nice glow for me. So I have been using that as a finishing powder. Surprisingly, I have been using this Shiseido, which I showed you, which I bought really because it was so pretty. It's also quite useful for travelling because this brush is decent for using with it. And it goes in the handbag. Now, lots of people have said this is not very practical. It's a funny kind of joint pigment. But travelling, I have found that I am able to use these as a kind of bronzing look when I don't want to lug this heavy one with me. And this one here as a finishing powder. And it does work for me. I don't think it's the most brilliant mixed powder. They've possibly tried to do too much in one palette, but so pretty and so useful and does fit in the handbag. So yeah, I have been using it and I do quite like it. I absolutely love the two Stila highlighters. Almost tempted to go back for the third colour, but it's much darker. I don't think it is what I really need. What are these called? The Heaven's Hue highlighters. I'd seen this one on the Selfridges website first, called Transcendence, and just thought it was such a pretty spring colour. It's showing a bit paler in the viewfinder. It's just a lilac-y pink. There we go. If you love your highlighters, you're going to love this. It's just so pretty. And the other one, of course, the famous... Oh, everything's falling over here. The famous Kitten. We've talked about this before. Who doesn't love Kitten? Much warmer than the other one. There we go. It's going to go well into summer. I've been using these on the eyes, on the cheekbones, just giving a little bit of glow where you need it. I really recommend them. They're quite reasonably priced as well. Loads of product. It's going to last forever. Definite favourites. Surprise, surprise, because I gave this quite a bad rap when I initially reviewed it. The Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Cheek Sculptor in Sublimate. Really expensive product, and I stand by the fact that I think you could probably find cheaper products that do exactly the same as this one, but I've actually found myself using it quite a lot. Simply because it's just so convenient. If you just want, without playing about sculpting, a natural look, this blend so easily on the cheeks to give a flushed look. Just easy. And it lasts pretty well, not brilliantly. The highlighter is, I maintain, still a bit too subtle for me. Definitely subtle in the viewfinder. It's a bit more than that in reality. But I have been using that on the cheekbones and bridge of the nose if I can't be bothered to pull out the Kitten or Transcendence. Just useful to have the two in the same palette, and a very easy blush without faffing around with brushes and powders and so forth. And does make me look a bit more healthy. So it has been happening. I've bought loads of lip products recently, and I've had just different ones in the handbag every day. One thing that has been, well, two things in permanent use. Talked about this on Instagram, I think yesterday or the day before. This is last year's Les Beige lip balm from Chanel. You can see I've used quite a lot. It's been great with the cracked lips for a cold. Just really comforting, gives a tiny bit of colour, really moisturising, and not messy like all those lip balms that come in tubes and pots. So I do really like it. Again, ridiculously expensive, but so stylish. The other thing that I've been enjoying throughout the month, really, but particularly with the cold, is the YSL Rouge Volupte. What are they called? Tint in oil. Somebody recommended these, I think, on the channel. Thank you very much. Recommended this specific colour. I went out and got it. And I really love the smell. Not everyone's going to love the smell. I just find it really comforting and nice on the lips. So I've been using that a whole lot this month. What I've been trying to get my head round is the Tom Ford funny Shade and Illuminate lips. Somebody asked me, is there a video about how to apply these? There are several. I'm not sure any of them tell you really how to do it very effectively. It looks as if I haven't used these very much. I have tried them on and off. I'm really still torn with this product. I find it applies best with the fingers, just kind of patting the colour in, because it's kind of too much on my lips if I paint it on with a brush. And it does give a really kind of pretty colour and texture when you apply it. But I don't find it wears very well. It definitely kind of bubbles and goes into this strange powder quite quickly. Same thing with the Dior double-edged one. So they deliver the colour really, really well. There's something about that, but the texture doesn't seem to wear well. This powder feels very counterintuitive on the lips. So I'm still not sold on this, but I can't quite get rid of it. And the fact that I've had a cold and my lips haven't been in great condition, I kind of want to wait until they are again before I make up my mind. I haven't been doing much with the eyes, but I have been using from time to time, again, the Calligraphy de Chanel, which was the Christmas item. Still keeping it in the box because I can keep the brush with it that way. Otherwise it goes loose in my makeup drawer. And this brush does actually work quite well with this, better than my actual eye makeup brushes. Now, if I show you this, it looks as if I've hardly used it. Can you see that? Because you need the tiniest amount. And I do find with the brush, I'm not very good at applying eyeliner. I've got shaky hands and poor eyesight, short and long-sighted, and wear contact lenses and you name it. Lining the eyes is just a nightmare. But I do find I can do it with this. Now, it doesn't stay brilliantly. It does migrate. But what I find about it migrating is it kind of migrates evenly to give a kind of smoky eye. So I start the day, if I just do this with a nice crisp line, and I end up as the day progresses with kind of a soft smoky eye, which isn't too bad. So for me it works quite well, and that's pretty much all I've been doing some days when I can't be bothered at the moment. So I have been enjoying that. I can't smell a thing and haven't been able to for about a week. But before that, I was motoring through this Byredo Mojave Ghost. Some people tell me how to pronounce this, but because they can't speak to me and it's in phonetics, I'm still not sure I've got it right. I was loving this, and I am. It's just a beautiful, gentle, enveloping, spring-like, not too floral. What's the word? Slightly fresh, powdery fragrance. Really like it. Not as astringent as a lot of the Byredo fragrances are. Not, I'll have to say, as long-lasting as a lot of the Byredo fragrances are. So you might not like that if you want a lot of bang for your buck, because Byredo is not a cheap brand, but worth having a little sniff. I really do like it, and the rate I'm going to get through it pretty quickly. So those were the favourites for March. I hope to do a bit better in terms of being a bit more adventurous. Use some of these endless eye palettes I've been buying and lipsticks in this coming month. But until next time, bye for now.